It is. It's Horton from Horton Here's a Who. I thought we could draw him today. So we are going to start with Horton's head. And Horton's head is basically, it's the shape of an oval or the shape of an egg. So we're going to draw an oval. And we're going to draw it kind of angled so it looks like his head's tilting down. So we're going to draw an oval first. And remember, if you have an eraser, it's helpful to have in case you have some lines you need to erase, right? So sometimes I do. I've got those lines. And I'm actually going to erase the bottom part of this oval because we have to draw his nose and his trunk. So I'm just going to draw it like that. And then we have to draw his big part of his body, which is another oval, right? So he's like two Easter eggs. So we're going to start here, and we're going to draw all the way down. So I have kind of like an oval, little oval on top of a big oval. And I'm not going to complete the oval. I'm just going to stop it. So see how I just stop here and I leave this empty space? We're going to leave this space empty, okay? So we've got the head and we've got the body. So I always like to add maybe the ears because the ears are also pretty big. So they're not tiny like details like this. And you know what they remind me of? They remind me of wings, right? They kind of come out and they curve in, have little tiny bumps. So we're going to start here. We're going to go up and then kind of out. So kind of like how a wing might come out. And then we're going to draw these little bumps. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 4 little bumps. And then if you look, the other ear looks pretty close to the same thing. It just has a little bit higher bump. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to draw that line that goes out and then the bumps. Okay, so let's start with, let's scoot this over. Okay, so I'm going to go and draw and go up and then come back down and then draw the bumps. So I've got 1, 2, 3 on this side, 4 on that side and 3 on this side. Okay, so we've got his ears. We're going to actually add, I think we should do the trunk. So the trunk, what I did with the trunk, the easiest way to do this is we have the part of his head, right, comes down. And then I made almost like a U. So it looks like a U. And then I went and did his little part of his nose, you know, like where you see where they like grab peanuts and stuff. So I gave him a little nose, end of his trunk, and then I made it come all the way back up into his, like right into his little head. And then I just gave him the little smile line at the end. So we've kind of got his mouth and his trunk all in one line. And then remember I said you don't have to have a line here. So if you want, you can always go back and then add that little line. That way his head's complete. So you've got the whole head shape and then the trunk comes right into his little head. Okay. So that is the first part of his head. So now his head is done as far as our big shapes. We're going to jump down to his body. So we've got the big oval. And now we got to give Horton some legs. Horton's got legs. And so what I did is I started where his trunk is, and I just made a line and I made it come down, kind of down to where the same bottom part of his circle is, or oval. And then on the other side, I did the same thing. I made another line. So see how they're all coming towards each other? Kind of like if you're doing ballet, you had your feet together. He's got his angled his feet, kind of legs down towards each other. And then we're gonna do some cartoon feet, right? So the cartoon feet are just kind of rounded, right? They're rounded. They're not like what an actual elephant's feet look like. They're just like cartoon feet. Okay, so I am gonna make mine be come out and it's gonna come back up. And I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. I'm doing the exact same shape, but on the other side. That way his feet look like they're coming together side by side. And then from here, it looks like his legs are standing really close together. So I'm gonna draw a line in the middle. It looks like his legs are touching. And then kind of because they're touching, we're just gonna draw like a little Y, and that way it looks like kind of like you can see they're close together, and this is kind of where his chest is starting. Okay, so we've got the legs and feet, and it kind of looks like he's sitting down in this picture. So all I did to make it look like he's sitting down, I just drew kind of two little bumps that might either look like the back of his knee or part of his foot. So I drew one. I did the same shape on this side. So I'll do the same exact shape on this side. So now let's check our picture. So we've got, oops. So we did the oval head, both ovals. We did the ears that look like wings. We've got a big oval body. Both have the legs and his little chest area. And then our little cartoon feet. And then the little back part of his cartoon feet. Okay. So the big shapes of Horton are done. And in this picture, I made it look like Horton was blowing bubbles because I feel like sometimes, I don't know if that's what elephants do, but when I think of elephants, that's what I picture them doing. I picture them blowing bubbles. So I had to draw a little tub of water. Okay, so how do we do this? Again, we're back to those oval shapes. We've got an oval. So we're going to start with another oval. Ovals are everywhere. I didn't know his whole picture was ovals today. So we've got an oval, and then we are going to draw a line coming down here, and a line coming down here. And then we're going to finish off the bottom. So now it looks like it's a tub. And then we're just going to add the little line that looks like it's the inside of the tub. And then that's where we'll have our water. Okay, so these are just basic shapes. So if you notice, we have not added any details. We haven't done eyes yet. We haven't done grass or bubbles or anything like that. So just the basic shapes. Okay, so now we get to draw the, okay, and we're gonna start at the top of his head. So if you notice, we've got a line in here. This is kind of the inside of his ear and rim of his ear. So we're just following the same line. So we're gonna start here and just kind of come out. So we're just following the same line, same shape. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. We're gonna go here. I'm just gonna follow the curve and just stop. And then we want to make it look like he has some hair. So we're going to give him some top and kind of some like little hair in the ears, like he's fuzzy. And then I have to give him his cute little eyes. So I drew one oval, and then I drew another oval. And we want to give him expression. So we're going to give him some eyebrows. There's one, there's two. And we're gonna have his eyes, we're gonna give him a little black dot, and we're gonna have his eyes look like they're looking up. So if you look, it looks like he's looking that direction. And then we have some little lines in his trunk to show that he's kind of wrinkly. So we're gonna add 4 lines. So I'm gonna go, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you look on the end of the trunk, I added like a little circle, kind of little circle to show that like his trunk or his kind of where his nose would be. If you ever seen an elephant's trunk, they have the little nostrils at the end of their trunk. So I'm gonna add that little kind of circle. It's like a little letter C. Okay, so we took care of his head. If you don't have it yet, you're gonna add the little end on his mouth so he looks like he's smiling. And then we're gonna jump all the way down and look at his toes. We get to give him toes. We're gonna give him the little cartoon toenails. So there's 1, and then 2, and then 3. And the same thing on this foot. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're gonna slide over to the bucket. And on the bucket, we're gonna give it like kind of like a basket pattern. So I drew a line across and then 1 more line right underneath it. And then we want to make it kind of look wooden. So we give it these little lines. Look, they kind of are like what the wooden slats would be. So there's lines there. I'll do like another set here. And maybe I'll add 1 more over here. So I did 3 sets of these little lines. And then whenever we see cartoons, water, they'll make these little wavy marks across the top of the surface. So we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to make a kind of like wavy line. And that's kind of what it would look like if it was like shiny water. But this is actually like soapy water because he's blowing bubbles. So I added 3 little circles to kind of show they were like bubbles. And to make them look shiny, we're going to add a little tiny square to each one. And then I added these little, they look like little stars. It's like if a bubble would pop, those are just like the little stars. I think we're going to jump back up to Horton's trunk. We need to give him bubbles so it looks like he's blowing bubbles. I had room and I added a big one up here. There's 1. And then added another one over here, 2. And then I think I've got space to maybe add another one over here. And then if we want to make them look shiny, cartoon bubbles, they'll make like a little tiny square, kind of in the corner, just how they make little bubbles. And then we want to also have a little drawing that looks like they popped. So we're going to do the same little, kind of look like little stars. So I have 1, 2, I'll add 1 more. So it looks like he blew bubbles and some popped. And then we want to have it be a little decorative down on the bottom, like he's actually sitting on something. And I thought, well, maybe we'll make it look like he's sitting in grass. So added some grass lines, like little blades of grass. And then I thought, well, if he's got grass, I bet he has a flower in this grass. So I put a flower, and you can draw your flower however you want. I'm going to make this look like a dandelion, and mine's going to be really puffy. So I just did lots of little lines to make it look like it's a really puffy dandelion. And then I think I yep, I did. I added some grass on the other side of the bucket. That way it kind of looks like he's just sitting on the ground, hanging out, blowing bubbles. So I'm going to add also some blades of grass over here. Maybe we'll put some more down here. So right now, let's just make sure we're not missing any steps here. So we've got Horton's face. We added the face and eyes, and we've got the ears done and details in his trunk. We did, bubbles all on the top. We've got the bucket that has the soapy water. And then I did his cute little flower. So I don't think I'm missing anything. I think that's all of it. Oh, I am missing something. I am missing my signature down at the bottom. All artists sign their name. Got to know who drew this picture. Lots of people will be like, oh, who made that? And then if there's no name, they'll have no idea. So that is our drawing of Horton.